This is Newcap News with Brian Lentz.
Good evening and thank you for joining us. The City of Lloydminster has moved forward on two major construction projects this week. Soon, work will begin on the 2018 Street Improvement Program and the Water and Sewer Main Replacement Program. Josh Ryan has more.
It was a competitive bidding process for two important projects in Lloydminster, and the city found that Bar Engineering was the best choice in both cases.
We tried to find the best ground for the best dollar that's going to ensure our project is looked after on time and hopefully on budget.
There were a variety of factors that went into the choice, which will pay Bar Engineering more than $280,000 for the street improvement program and more than $130,000 for the water and sewer main replacement program.
Number of hours, the cost per hour, past practice. Are they on time in terms of the whole project and bidding the number of hours? Those are all pieces that go into it.
A local connection wasn't the reason that Bar Engineering was chosen, but Mayor Albers says having someone familiar with the area can help offset extra costs when unforeseen challenges occur.
Bar Engineering has had a lot of experience in our city. They've worked here, they live here. Not saying that by not living here or working here does not make you a good expert, but it can challenge you.
Also critical is getting construction started several months earlier,
rather than leaving it into that September window, even October. Because the later we go in the fall, Mother Nature, we have no control over.
And this should also help move the whole process along more quickly, shortening the window of traffic disruption.
You want to do it quickly, efficiently, and get it done quickly so that people can return back to whatever way they like to drive and get to work or to wherever they're going.
Josh Ryan, Newcap News.
And two Lloydminster men are helping to support a great cause in the most Canadian way possible. Eric Friesen reports.
Battling freezing cold temperatures and exhaustion during the world's longest hockey game seems like nothing in comparison to the daily struggles of cancer patients. Lloydminster's Kevin Morris is playing for a close friend.
This all started back 2003. I had at one point dated a girl named Susan, who ended up marrying Brent Sake. Brent Sake is the founder and sort of author of this madness.
Susan Sake died after a short yet courageous battle with non-Hodgkins lymphoma in June 2003. When the second game was held 2 years later, it didn't take much convincing to get Morris on board.
She passed away quite quickly, unfortunately, and he had another hockey game in 2005, and he contacted me and he said, you knew Susan, we really wanted you to play. I want you to come out and play this silly little hockey game. We're going to go play for 10 days.
Short one goalie this year, Morris recruited his friend Evan Nygren, who has also lost a loved one to the deadly disease, to join his team.
The unfortunate reality is that, everyone in some way or another has been affected by cancer. So I myself, I lost my grandmother to cancer. It just touches everybody's lives. So when the opportunity came up, it's something I've never done anything like this before, especially to this magnitude. And I thought it was a really good opportunity to contribute in a way that I know how.
Morris says playing in the world's longest hockey game has little to do with the game itself.
For us, it's not about the hockey. It's not about, establishing a Guinness Book of World Record. It's about the Alberta Cancer Foundation and the great work that they do, and really trying to do something that can, in our simple little way, and to raise some funds and have it directly put to where it needs to be.
Eric Friesen, Newcap News.
A local artist is using her skills to give back to the community. As Michaela Henschel reports, she's not only teaching youth a few art tips and tricks, but also helping them give back too.
Danielle Vachon is a full-time artist. Last year, she started sharing her passion with kids and youth and wanted to do something unique for the community.
I didn't really know what to do with their artwork, and I didn't want it to go to waste. So I started just selling it and then giving the money back to local charities.
Recently, Danielle partnered with the Lloydminster Youth Centre, where over 70 kids and youth gathered for an afternoon of painting, while also showcasing the work the youth centre does.
I think it's win-win for both organizations, for both Danielle and for us. It exposes the Lloydminster Community Youth Centre. It brought a lot of families through the doors, whether they're parents of youngsters or youth themselves, to kind of see what we're all about and what we do here and what it's like here.
Painting not only allows Danielle to give back, but also allows her to bring the community together in a creative way to contribute back.
it's brought me good things to my life, and seeing what it does for children, and seeing when I do work with them and I guess how much pride and stuff it brings towards them when their paintings give back.
Any opportunity that we have to partner within our community is a great opportunity for us, and we're always looking for those positive partnerships right here in Lloydminster.
Danielle took the paintings and created unique pieces of art that will be auctioned off to benefit the youth center. For Danielle, art and giving back are a passion that go hand in hand.
I feel like everything in my life has been kind of a pay it forward attitude. I've had lots of help in my life, and that's kind of just where it started, was just anything you give away, you're going to get back no matter what.
Michaela Henschel, Newcap News.
Well, a recent story of a young woman diagnosed with non-Hodgkins lymphoma has touched the hearts of many people in Lloydminster, and now there's a way to help. Ali Cook is a 20-year-old Lloydminster resident currently enrolled in Lakeland College. When Ali was diagnosed with this disease, family friend Wendy Othen knew she had to help.
When I found out about Ali, I just knew I needed to do something and help out in some way. So lucky for me, I have a friend who is really great at fundraising and kind of getting people aware. So I contacted Brandy at I Love Alberta Boobs and said, this is what I want to do. This is what I'd like to see happen.
What Wendy wanted to see happen was a bowl-a-thon fundraiser, including teams of 4 bowling to raise money for this important cause with the help of the community. The bowl-a-thon is scheduled for March 24th.
It has been overwhelming, honestly. It's, fantastic for sure. The support from Lloydminster is always great, I find. It's a very giving community. So it's been fantastic.
Wendy and I Love Alberta Boobs are still looking for sponsorships and teams to bowl. You can find more information by going onto the Facebook page, Bowling Alley. Well, LPSD is celebrating Canadian literature by getting students involved in a Saskatchewan-wide reading initiative. Michaela Henschel reports in this week's edition of Beyond the Classroom.
The Willow Awards are the Saskatchewan Young Readers' Choice Awards. Their mission is to promote reading and celebrate Canadian literature. This year, there are 30 books to choose from, all of which have been written by Canadian authors or permanent residents of Canada.
It gets the kids excited to be reading, and it introduces them to Canadian authors and illustrators and teaches them that, this is something that you could grow up to do too.
For every nominated book a student reads, they are entered to win a prize. And then if they read the required amount, they are eligible to vote for the Willow Awards, helping crown a favorite in each category.
Some kids are taking them home and reading them at home with their families, and some of the teachers have taken them on as well, and they're reading them as a class. There's all sorts of books to choose from. There's some graphic novels, there's short stories, there are historical fiction as well.
For students, this initiative not only helps their literacy, but helps them escape by diving into new Canadian books.
They're more interesting than most other books. It really tells the history of Canada if they're writing about themselves.
Because, people in Canada, they have big imagination.
Michaela Henschel, Newcap News.
This is Newcap Sports.
Well, maybe one of the more compelling sports this Winter Olympics is curling. Not something you'd expect to hear given the sheer volume of great stories thus far, but if Mr. T likes it, it must be good. Although they're not curling for medals at this point in the season, the Lakeland Rustlers hosted a unique curling opportunity recently, and their opponents, teams you would never see in the ACAC. Lance Phillips shows us who.
Although they're not taking part in the Olympics, the Lakeland Rustlers curling teams did have an opportunity to curl against some international competition last week when the Shanghai University curling teams walked on pebbled ice in Vermilion. But the differences were noted long before that point.
The weather is 35 degrees below zero. In Shanghai, I come from Shanghai, but in Shanghai, in the winter, we've got a degree 2 or 3 degrees, and when it's cold, it's -2 or -3.
Many of us take the facilities we have for granted, but the Shanghai teams were a bit overwhelmed at what Alberta had to offer its players.
I like curling very much, so all the curling the curling teams and the curling rink are very nice and better than where I come from.
They were surprised to see the number of sheets we have here. In Camrose, they saw 9 sheets, and they couldn't believe it. They've never seen that many sheets together.
Some of the international teams from China, they don't get to play in a lot of competitions, so for them, I think, is a great experience to come and play.
After some fun curling, the two groups sat together for some well-deserved dinner, Canadian style, and some challenging communication.
It's a great challenge to me because I'm not always like to communicate with strangers, I think.
For them, just, to talk to somebody from a different country, learn about their culture a little bit, and to really soak it in, and to make friends who are from China, that's really a once-in-a-lifetime experience. Not a lot of people get to do that.
Needless to say, all parties involved were given a chance to do something they may never do again.
To play curling with some different teams and with some more professional teams, I think.
It's been amazing. It's a terrific experience to play against international teams, and super nice. It's a lot of fun, and it's great to get out there and just to curl. That's what we love to do.
Despite the obvious language and cultural barriers, these two teams were able to work together towards a common goal, and that was obtained through one thing and one thing only: the fact that sport unites us all. Lance Phillips, Newcap Sports, Vermilion.